Thank you for the invitation to present the Giants House. Gezinsbond and Ligue de Familles have been going on a few years due to COVID with the Giants House tour in Belgium. But why is it still necessary to do something about child safety and prevention? These are numbers. The biggest problem of finding numbers in Belgium is there are no real numbers. And a survey of AG Insurance, one of our partners, and it's an insurance company, has had a survey, and 1 out of 3 families had the past 3 years an accident with injuries. That's out of a survey. So that there is a dark number that we don't know how many people really have such an accident in and around the house. 40% of them in and around the house, 20% due to a road or traffic accident, they said. But for small children, it heightens to 55% in and around the house. That's also a bit normal because our world enlarges when we grow up. And first of all, when you're small, you're in and around your house. You don't go out. When you become 6, you go for the first time to the youth movement or to the sports organization, and your world brightens and grows up. For a lot of European countries, and also for Belgium, there are no real numbers known. I think only 3 European countries, 2 of the EU that I'm certain of, that's Serbia and Holland, keep numbers from injuries by small children. Every child that comes to, for instance, to a hospital, they ask what has happened and they put it inside the system. Also, Switzerland does it. But those are, for me, well, the only 3 countries known in Europe, they keep numbers from injuries for small children. So registration is the key to prevention. If you don't know anything about numbers, you try to do something about prevention, but you don't know really what do we have to do in prevention. And that's why we started also the Giants House. We have a lot of things seen in and around the house, and we need some good prevention tips over there. Because other things, we have a lot of numbers. Every accident in road traffic accident with injuries, we keep numbers. But why not for those injuries in and around the house? There are 7 types of accidents in and around the house. First of all, you have falls. Everyone has already fallen sometimes, but that's normal. The other type is burns. When you have a hot coffee, this morning, if you had a bad luck, you have thrown it over you, you have possibly small burns. But there are also larger things in and around the house. One of our partners, Oscar VZ2, an NGO in Flanders, has worked with a lot of people and also with small children who have burns for the rest of their lives, and they help them. So there is a necessary thing to have good prevention tips for burns. The third one is poisoning. You see the photo over here. The medicines you're feeling not that good, you keep them on your cupboard, and you go out and you forgot them, and a small child thinks, oh, nice candy, and they try to put it in their mouth, and you have some possible risk or danger. Drowning, also one of those things in and around the house. Suffocation, small pieces from the bigger brother or sister from toys are very well known that they try to put it in the mouth, small children, and they can suffocate if you're on that. Cuts and bumps, and crushing. So those are the 7 types of accidents in and around the house that we know, and you can all those things put it in those 7 types. But first of all, a small lesson about dangers and about risks. Why don't talk all the time in the giant's house about dangers, but more about risk. That's about the alarm principle. What does it mean, the alarm principle? That's as low as reasonably possible. It becomes a danger when it gets in that red high, the pyramid is upside down, and in the red, you have the dangers. There is a tolerable region where we don't all that things can happen. You can fall, that's bad luck. But when you're from, you don't take measurements to lower the risks for certain dangers, then you have a possible large danger. And the small tip, those are acceptable things. Yeah, bumping into a table, okay, bad luck. But are we going to do something about it? No, because we need a table. If we see the table as a danger, the only possible thing is put away the table, but then you have to clear your complete house because everything is possible as a danger. Talk about risks. That's better for that. Now, the best risk managers in the world that I know, don't have to study for it, that are parents. They know the best how their children do some things. Some children are a little bit more crazy sometimes, and you think, oh my God, but the parent says, no, let him do it because he knows or she knows what she can do best. Keep that in mind. Children have to look around in the world and have to learn, sometimes with a cut and a bump. That's the normal thing in our world. But parents are all the time searching for a good balance and a lot of information. And that's, for instance, today this webinar is about. So keep up the good things. You know you are the best risk manager. You don't have to study for it as a parent, but you are the best one in the world. So everyone who has studied for risk management has to be normal, a good, very good parent. That's why we had the Reuzenhuis or Maison de Géant in Belgium. It's an unusual normal house. What does it mean? Normal, 6 rooms, the living room, the sleeping room, the bathroom, your kitchen. Those are those 6 rooms, but also the garden and the car. The car is also a piece of our house. Don't forget that, because when you get in the car or you get out the car and you go to your house, you're already in nearby. But unusual, why? We have enlarged it about 3 times that you look as a grown-up through a child's perspective. You will see everything as that child's perspective. The table or the desk you are sitting now for the moment, look at it and you will see it on your height. And you will discover the risks and the prevention tips. Just get in your toddler's shoes, feel how those shoes are for them. And the bad luck is those are my both legs when I've put them in those shoes. But that is the real thing. Get in your toddler's shoes and look through the world of them. First of all, a brief history. In 1995, the first thing my former director, Jan Baak, started with a small tour with only some objects. And after that, we turned it into a house and a complete tour with all the things in and around it. We have already had 4 tours in Flanders till 2012, 2013. And in 2018, the first time of all, we come to the collaboration with Ligue des Familles, our partners from the French-speaking part of Belgium. Why? They felt also a need of a good prevention tips in around the house for the partners over there. And there were also some new starts, new ideas new risks and dangers. On the photo, you will see underneath the e-cigarette. If I would have said to you about in 2012, 2013, you can smoke via an e-cigarette, you would said, Eric, you're a crazy man. That's not possible. Another small example for that is 8 or 10 years ago, with your smartphone, you couldn't take a selfie. But we don't know that anymore because it's normal for us now. So new ideas, new risks, new dangers, and we had to put them also in the Giant's House. And there's also an extra possibility since we have we have put some new technologies also in the Giant's House, and that's a large opportunity. We had via Vlaio, an organization in Flanders who helps organizations to make possible new technologies, new products in some things. And we have had an input of virtual reality and augmented reality also. So we can come to you via virtual reality and so on. Now, we had one trouble. 2020, we were ready to go on tour, but COVID said, no way, you will not go on tour. So in 2021, we had to wait also. And in September, we had a definite yes. And since then, we are going in Belgium on 11 cities, till the 1st of May. Then we will end in Wavre, where we had 11 cities in Belgium. Now we didn't do this alone. Gezinsbond and Ligue de Familles, we are organizations, and COFACE is our main partner for Europe, and we are very obliged to be a member of them. And we had to make it right. Why does we have to make it right? If I think a risk or a danger is for me a risk or a danger, it's not all the time a risk or a danger for other people. But organizations, for instance, like Centre Anti-Poisson, the Burn Center, Oscar VZ2, Croix-Rouge, helped us to make it right. What is a type of risk or danger, they said, and we had a lot of talks with them, and they helped us to make the Giant's House. So a lot of NGOs helped us to make it right. So we had the best possible prevention tip for a risk or a danger via them. A tour in Belgium, like I said, 11 cities. We started in Kortrijk in 2021, and we will finish in Wavre. In January, we will be in Leuven, nearby Brussels. So always welcome to come and see. What is it? It's a physical home combined with virtual reality and augmented reality. Physical home, you will walk through an exposition and you can try it out like you're a small toddler from 3 years old. And you see it already here. That's Damien, one of my colleagues from Ligue de Familles, who sits on a chair. And we had a group, a targeted audience that can explore the risks in and around the house. So it's for parents, grandparents, but that's the normal thing because you're a parent, you're looking for that information, like I said before. And for grandparents, the same thing. You had 20 or 30 years along, no children in and around your house because they're grown up and you don't think about it. And the first time you get your grandchild in the house and you think, oh my God, I have to put some things up because otherwise they will throw it over or something like that. So you try to remember what have I done before, and that also are good prevention tips. Also child care workers. We have some evening, nocturnes at the Giant's House, and we see that on those times, a lot of childcare workers come to visit the house because, that's their normal day living. They work with those toddlers and those young children, and they want to know how they can make their organization even better for those young children. Students in the childcare are also a large target audience we have. During the daytime when we are open, let's say it about 80% of the people who come during the daytime are schools with young people who are going to work in childcare. In the weekends and in the evenings, we have a lot of parents and grandparents who come to our exposition. But also extra, governments. Why governments? We want to sometimes, let's say, I will give them a kick to their bum to say, hey, it's up to you to make good prevention tips and do a project like this. Why do we have as an NGO to do that? That's normally a thing for the government to help people to have good prevention tips. And that's why we show them also to them that there is a need for good prevention in and around the house. And why not even architects? I have the chance to go in March to Byte in Belgium, a large expo for people who want to know things for their new house or renovations and so on. And Byte has invited Ligue de Familles and us to do some workshops over there with also for architects, but also for the large people, the large crowd to come around. So that's architects. Why do I say architects? Because an architect thinks sometimes, okay, an apartment or a house has to be modern. So we don't need some things in and around that house. But when they have to think only as a grown-up, they forgot the small children who will become at some point in that house. And then when you have a staircase where there is no such thing where you can keep a grab on, yeah, some architects are not, they say, we don't need that. But we have heard already from parents after when the children can for the first time step and they want to try to get up or down the stairs, they are not eager to go down because they have nothing to take for them in their hand to go slowly down the stairs. Now I will show you a small film in French from Ligue de Familles. It's a presentation and you can see how you will walk through that house, what you can experience. Think about it as, you are for a moment a toddler. Damien will give some explanation. It's in French, but if you don't understand it afterwards, I can give you some explanation also in English for the rest. Let's see.
La maison des géants, c'est une maison étrangement normale. En fait, le public il circule dans une maison normale où on trouve une cuisine, une salle de bain, une chambre. Mais la maison est étrange parce que tous les volumes ils sont reproduits en 3 fois plus grands. Pourquoi? Parce que de cette façon, les adultes sont plongés dans le regard d'un enfant d'à peu près 3 ans et peuvent comprendre quels sont les dangers que rencontrent les enfants dans nos maisons et ainsi apprendre comment les éviter. On a souvent tendance à voir la maison comme un cocon, comme un endroit sûr. C'est ainsi que les parents veulent se le représenter. Pourtant, la réalité est tout autre. La maison est en fait la première cause de lésions invalidantes et de mortalité, particulièrement pour les jeunes enfants. Pour cette raison, le Gezinsbond a décidé de lancer ce projet de prévention, la maison des géants. En 2021, la Ligue des familles s'est associée au projet et a décidé de faire tourner la Maison des Géants en Wallonie et à Bruxelles. 300 000 familles belges ont actuellement un aîné de moins de 5 ans. C'est le public principal de l'exposition. On pense aussi fortement aux jeunes grands-parents qui doivent pour la première fois accueillir un petit enfant à la maison et qui doivent du coup réadapter leur intérieur. Le projet s'adresse aussi aux professionnels et futurs professionnels de la petite enfance qui sont nombreux à visiter le projet. La Ligue des familles n'est pas spécialisée en santé et en prévention. Il a donc fallu s'entourer pour créer une expérience qui corresponde vraiment aux besoins des parents et des enfants. Pour cela, la Croix-Rouge, l'ONU, le Centre anti-poison, les pompiers, tous nous ont aidés et ont vraiment amélioré cette expérience pour qu'elle soit pertinente pour les parents.
Here you can see we have a lot of partners. Like I said, those partners are very important for us because the house isn't built by ourselves. We have the need of those good partners who work with us and make the project work for all the time. Just one moment, I will go on. Now, as you have seen in the movie, we have augmented reality implemented in the Giant's house because it's a new technology. And for the moment, augmented reality, the trouble with that is I would like to show you it also on my smartphone or something like that, but we had to keep it in the house. In a few years, I will hope you can take a smartphone, have a QR code, walk through your house, and have those prevention tips immediately in your house. That's not possible for the moment. Augmented reality has its good things, but one of the troubles for augmented reality is, and then you need artificial intelligence. That's the newest thing. For instance, I have my cup over here for my coffee. You have, I have this one, but if I would ask to you, take your own cup, you will see we don't have one similar over here for the moment, and you have possible 10,000 types of coffee cups. And in augmented reality, it's not possible to put a database of 10,000 types of coffee cups, 10,000 types of kitchens, and so on. So it would be a very large thing. In artificial intelligence, it will be better and more better. It will become better because then it will think, okay, I see something that I think looks like a coffee cup. Eric, is it okay that I will say it's a coffee cup? And the next time when he sees it, okay, that's a coffee cup of Eric. And next time he will take Elizabeth's coffee cup and he will put it in his database. And then he will keep up going. And after 10 or 20 coffee cups, he will say, when he sees some things like this, okay, that's a coffee cup, and let's do it in it. And we can put a prevention tip. Because in the mornings, for instance, this coffee, the Centre Brûlure gets 5 phones, or a hospital gets every morning 5 people, does a call in Belgium. My child has burned in due to coffee or tea. So that's why we say put that coffee cup inside the augmented or reality or the artificial intelligence. The other thing you have seen is virtual reality. The virtual reality, we have now about 9 Oculus Quests, thanks to Coface, who has partnered us for that. And we work for the moment with controllers in your hand. You put on the goggles, you see the house, and you can do some things in the house, like your toddler. You can take a small candy, and the candy becomes a battery. Why? Because a toddler doesn't think that's a battery. He thinks, oh, it could be something nice to put in my mouth. Let's try it. That's why we have put it in the house, in the virtual reality, like a candy. And we have some new things going on. In Leuven, we will have a premiere. You don't need to use the controllers anymore. Just put on the goggles, watch at your hands with the goggles, and your hands will become the controllers in a Giant's house. So it will become more easy to use it, to implement it. And that's the program on the virtual reality. We are looking for that to make it open to everyone. For the moment, it's only in the house usable, but why not? We will put it as an app on Oculus Quest or Meta or something like that in a few years, so everyone can use it. But we can come with that also on a tour. Why not come to abroad to another country, and we can bring the complete house with the physical things, with the augmented reality, with the virtual reality, but we can come to you on a tour also with a smaller part with the virtual reality, for instance, in those things. But I have also some small prevention tips because, when you haven't seen the house, like I said, welcome in Leuven from the 25th of January, or you can come also to Waver from the 17th of April. But also a few prevention tips I will give you, and then we can have some questions or time to think about why this project is still necessary in our world. First of all, it's one we have made with Oscar VZW, Pinocchio ASBL, and the fire brigades. Know and learn your kids the escape way, because when you have smoke in your house due to a fire, not the fire is the most dangerous thing, it's the smoke. Because first of all, you can't see very well in your house because there is a lot of smoke. And second of all, it's very poisonous, the smoke. So learn your kids the best way out. And like you see over here in our Giant's house, we have made the staircase very large. So you feel it like you are a toddler to go up or down. And you will see underneath the photo, we have put some shoes, but also some other objects. Keep your escape way clear. That's very important for that. And learn your children. A small toddler from 3 years old, when he knows or she knows how to get up the stairs, go to the door to get out, and she can do it with you, make it like a small game with them. Learn the easy way out. And that's why we put it also in here. Second of all, cooking is very great together. Do that. Please do that. Why? Because small children also have to learn some things. And a small history for that. When my children were very much younger than today, when they were 3-4 years old, we learned them how to use a small cutting knife for an apple or some other vegetables or fruits. And how did we do it? We had a small plank in your kitchen and a knife. And when that knife and that small board was out, they knew, okay, we can cook together with mom or dad, and they will have some explanation. And you can see all the time, you know what the risk is. They can cut themselves, but you are nearby them. And when the small board and the knife weren't out the cupboards, they knew, okay, Daddy hasn't got time for us for the moment because he's doing some more riskful things in the kitchen. So he doesn't need our help. But that was a system. When it was out, okay, they knew, okay, we can help. Otherwise, it was that time too riskful. So cooking, let's do that together, learn the things, because when you're later, they have to know how to use a knife. Let's make them, it's fun for that. Very important also, we have a lot of dangerous products. Then I say dangerous, not riskful products, because medicines, some cleaning products and so on are very dangerous. In which cupboard are they standing at your place? Are they underneath the sink, or have you put them high where the children can't reach them? It's one of those easy tips. Never let them outside, but we see still some troubles with that in a lot of families, because they don't have the space, or they don't think about it because it's normal. We have put it all the time over there. Now, this is the cheapest prevention tip amongst all. And that's, and especially, particularly for brothers and older brothers and sisters, that's tidy your toys, and especially the small parts. I look now at my son. He's 18 over there, but now he's gaming on his smartphone, but he wasn't the tidiest one of the house. And he forgot that a smaller sister was in and around the house. And then you have a nearly accident had with the small pieces of Lego. She almost had put it in her mouth. We ask that question every time in the Giants house. When people come in, we ask them, and I can ask it at all of you, who has put something when he was young at 2-3 years old in their mouth, ears, or nose, and about 80% puts up their hands. When I asked that same question, and I said, who had to go to the doctor or the hospital for that, we keep about 40% of the people say, yeah, it was a small pearl or a piece of Lego. I put it in my nose, it couldn't get out, so we had to go to the doctor, or something in the ear. And on every tour, we ask that question, and we see that, and you can't believe it, what they have put in their mouth, nose, or ears. It goes about the small euro cents, pearls, small Lego blocks, but also, and that was very disturbing for me, also small batteries. We had in the last tour in Genk, I think 5 young people who said, yeah, I was 2 or 3 years old and I had put a battery in my mouth and it went into my stomach. And that's very dangerous for that moment. So that's why we all the time say, tidy up your toys, and especially the small parts, but all those things, because the small hands of a toddler are very, very quick. And I don't have, for this last one, a photo from the Giants house, but we also have a trampoline inside. Do please read your manuals. Why? And trampolines are the best example of that. If you read your manual, you will see there stands up a maximum weight and a maximum of people on it. But we forget that. And sometimes it's very fun, like this photo with 4 or 5 people, but then the most of the accidents happens on a trampoline because it's not made for 4 or 5 small children to play on, but it's a lot of fun. And in the COVID times, the University Hospital of Antwerp asked us as organization to put some tips, prevention tips of especially trampolines, but it was why in COVID, it was one of the only things children could do in and around the house. And a lot of people bought then a trampoline. And the most of accidents were bumps, crushes, an arm that broke or something like that. So they asked us, can you make some prevention tips on your sites as an organization so your people know what the trouble is with those things? Those are a few of the things, those prevention tips come also inside the Giants house. And we see that there's still a need. Why do we see it? There is still a need of good prevention. For instance, for the expo in Leuven, we have now a pre-sale of about, for 2.5 weeks we are in Leuven. We have now already a pre-sale of 4,500 tickets. Brussels, last year, in 2021, we were in Brussels in December. I think we ended about this time of period. We were in November in Brussels. We had sold out in Brussels. So every time 50 people, every half hour went to our house to watch it, and it was a sold out. Antwerp, the same thing, almost a sold out. Leuven will become a sold out. And I heard from my colleagues of Ligue de Familles, for instance, in Liège, the same thing. People are searching for good information, and we did it on a fun base. Why on fun base? The physical house, you can have a laugh also in that, but a good laugh thinking about, okay, I have that large knife in my hands and it's fun and you can, but afterwards you keep it better in mind because you had a love it. And then you have a better in mind from, hey, the next time I will think about it for that knife. I will put it safely in my cupboard and not leave it around in the kitchen, for instance. It's simple. When you have a good fun with prevention, you know afterwards, you think, no, that's not possible. I have to think about it. So that's why we made it in a physical way, but also in an augmented way and a virtual way. This is a small presentation of it. Very, very thankful. If there are questions, I'm open to it.